Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second T20 International in this triangular series at Sano International Cricket Ground in Japan. A very warm welcome to all of our viewers and subscribers to the JCA channel. We have just had the national anthems, as you have heard. Japan has won the toss and elected to bat. This is Sagir, your commentator for today, and I am joined by a very special guest. My colleague today in the comms box is none other than Rahul Patil, who wears many hats, crowns, feathers, everything in his cap. He is the manager for the Cook Islands team, who played yesterday and had, I would say, a convincing win against Thailand. Rahul also writes articles for various publications. He does radio commentary in New Zealand for Tarana Radio, and he also does a few reels online, Rahul, would you say, with Martin Devlin?
Okay, thanks for that welcome. I don't think anyone has ever introduced me in such grand fashion. So really do appreciate the welcome. Yeah, I do a podcast with Martin Devlin in New Zealand. Martin is one of New Zealand's top sports broadcasters, and I have had the privilege of doing some good cricket content with him. But yeah, what a beautiful day for the game of cricket. Such an amazing setting. I know our viewers can probably only see the pitch and a little bit of cloud field, but we're surrounded here by some lovely mountains, clear blue skies, not a cloud in the sky, and yes, our team played well yesterday, and what a fantastic game it was.
Are you happy with the win?
Yes, yes. As you rightly said,
No, well summarized. We could talk about that match for ages, but our batters are now on the ground, and it looks like it'll be Kendall Kadowaki Fleming, the Japanese captain, and his partner in crime, Lachlan Yamamoto Lake. I would also like to mention that one of the umpires today, Vipin Sukhwal, is making his debut for the men's T20 internationals. He did two women's games last year, but this is the first time that he's officiating in a men's T20 international. His colleague Adam Burrs is a very experienced senior umpire and has done multiple international games, so we know that the officials are fairly seasoned and they'll have a good handle over the proceedings today. Our Thai players are heading up, getting into their positions now. Should be an exciting game. Both Kendall and Lachlan are fairly attacking batters. And I don't know if you are aware of this, but they also are the current holders of the world record for the opening partnership in T20 internationals.
yes, absolutely. I mean, before the tournament started, one day before, we had a small
Yeah, 258. Unbroken 258.
Unbroken 258. Okay. Yeah, I have the pleasure of meeting Kendall on a couple of occasions now.
Hmm.
And yeah, he seems like a really nice young man who's got his head on his shoulders and feet firmly on the ground.
Absolutely.
And a very, very inspirational captain
Yeah.
for Japan.
Absolutely. All right. Now it looks like Lachlan will take strike for the first ball.
The left arm of Korea,
Kurtzia, yes, that's right.
ball.
He bowled well yesterday. He got a little bit of a, just a hint of swing in his second spell. Not so much in his first spell, but I think as the ball got older, he managed to get his line and that swing going on a bit. He did give you guys a little bit of a scare taking 2 in 2 balls, and probably would have had the third one too.
Yeah, there was a few nervous moments there. But yeah, he's got a witty action. He's a short runner, witty action, and clearly uses a lot of his shoulder to generate that pace. And he can be deceptive because he comes onto the bat quicker than what he should do. So yeah, all in
Yeah.
all, a good strike. A short run to the bat.
Yes, he did. Right, first ball of the innings now. Oh.
Ball start.
Yeah, not uncommon in Formula One or sprint events at the Olympics, right? Okay, now this time it looks like it is. First ball. This way. Here we go for the second delivery. Oh, that's hit him straight on the pads.
Just experiencing a couple of technical difficulties here. Just trying to get that sorted while Kotzia comes in. It's full and it's driven by Lachlan. Is scampering through for a quick single there. He's on target on this first over. As I mentioned earlier, a bit of a whippy action. And yeah, generates space, a bit deceptive with his pace. Comes onto the bat a lot quicker than you think. And now got Kendall facing his first delivery. Right on line, and a good defensive stroke from Kendall as well. Just on leg stump, that delivery knocked onto the leg side by Kendall. It's a very sedate kind of start today. Japan being very watchful. Obviously, playing at home, they know these conditions better than any team. And they must have in their heads a number that they feel they're comfortable with. That's full again and is driven and ran with the shot. Comfortable single down to mid-off. And that's the end of the first over. Japan moving on to 2 without loss after the end of the first over.
Thank you, Rahul, for taking over while we were having some technical difficulties. Yeah, it has been a fairly, I would say, a quieter start. I think both the batters just making sure they get adjusted to the conditions over here before the fireworks begin. Now, I don't know if you watched the.
Yeah, I didn't see what to do, but I did see that over where Wood he really got stuck into Wood. Yeah, they're saying this was that over that Kendall really got stuck into this thing of Wood, and that's how it looks. Couple of no balls, couple of free hits, and 31 run area. I did manage to see that. It was quite fascinating to see how all that unfolded.
Yeah, Kendall's a wonderful player. This one's a quick single. Bit of a misfield over there, helping the batsman down. But it just shows you the level of his awareness of the field. So the first ball he hit is slightly deeper, and this one he just dabbed in that vacant gap and scampered for a quick one.
I'm still fascinated by the beautiful setting this ground is in. I mean, the hills covering it, just lush green. The outfield's fantastic. What a place to play and watch cricket from.
It is great, which is why I come here every year now. That slab by Lachlan on the offside, they should be able to get there. No, it's slowing down. Fielder pulls it up inside, and it's looking for a third, but very wisely judged. No.
Yeah, I don't think he timed it very well, but managed to get it in the gap. And the outfield clearly a lot faster than yesterday because it's had the time to dry. So you're going to get a lot more value for your shots today than what you did yesterday.
Yeah, that's true. I think, as you mentioned, it wasn't timed very properly, but despite that, it went within about 5 meters of boundary. Mukesh Thakur comes in yesterday, not yesterday. I was just about to say that Mukesh Thakur bowled very well yesterday as well.
Yeah, he was the one providing the first breakthrough, getting the wicket of Thomas Parima yesterday.
Yeah.
With a beautiful, almost a Yorker length delivery, and found some swing as well.
And then he came back in the second spell to torment you guys too. Could have almost had that catch at mid-off. This time Lachlan comes down the track, tries to whip it away, but manages to get just a little bit of a bat, and the ball just dribbles away onto the offside. And Kendall had the presence of mind to scamper for that quick single over there. This was one of the things I noticed when Thailand played you guys yesterday as well, that when they weren't getting the boundaries, they were managing to get the singles and the doubles as often as they can. Oh, it's beautiful drive.
Yeah, they were very good between the wickets. And it's a funny one in T20 cricket. You either want to be on the edge of the circle to stop the boundary, or you want to be in to save the one. And I guess stopping boundaries in T20 cricket is way more important. You're more than happy to give a single away.
That's right.
In an attempt to save the boundary. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit of a dilemma, and I think sometimes captains have to take that hard decision, isn't it? Whether they want to keep this new batter on strike by denying him the single, or whether they're happy to give him the single and make sure he's stopping the boundary. It's not an easy choice. Anyway, Japan now 9 for no loss after 2 overs. In comes Courtesy again. Very well played by Kendall on the offside. Oh, that's a direct hit, but it looks like Lachlan's well into his ground.
Yeah, he was home there, and a very well judged single. Take no kudos off the fielder though. Through in one action, had one stump to aim at and hit it direct.
They were pretty good in the field yesterday, by and large, except for the 2 catches that they dropped. But they managed to get a few direct hits yesterday as well. Ooh, this one's hitting high up on the thigh. No appeal from the bowler. Probably knew quite well that was definitely missing the stumps.
Yeah, as I said, he's got that whippy action, and he has that element of surprise. You know, he runs in. He's not got a big run up, so you don't expect the ball to come off the pitch that quickly. But he's got the strong shoulders, and he uses them to good effect.
That should be right. Then it's called a white. You know, earlier when you said short run up, whippy action, huge shoulder, the image in my head was Wasim Akram, because he's the only left armer that fits that sort of description.
I think Kurjia wouldn't be able to sleep tonight if he heard that you were comparing him to Wasim Akram.
Speaking of which, maybe one of your bowlers.
That's
there we
a
go. That's a
beautiful
Has
shot.
it cleared him?
He hasn't timed it at
No,
all,
he
though.
hasn't.
Caught by the fielder.
And Thailand draw first blood. What a blow this is for Japan. One of their attacking opening bowlers gone in the 3rd over, caught at mid-off. Let's look at that replay again. It looks like he caught the toe end of the ball. He didn't really hit it cleanly. It just got the toe end of the ball, and it just went high up in the air, but didn't get the distance. As some on-screen, or like not on-screen, but TV commentators say it didn't have the legs on it.
Yeah, as you rightly said, he tried to clear it, but got the toe end of the bat. And yeah, it's one of those pitches where hitting on the up is not the easiest. Unless you get to the absolute pitch of the ball, it's always going to be difficult to play on the up.
It is, but the idea, the intent was clearly spot on. It's just mistimed it. Maybe the ball just seemed a touch away and went away from him, because of which he probably didn't get hold of it. Who knows? But you know, Lachlan will be kicking himself once he gets back in the hutch, because that was, and you know, he hits these sort of balls for boundaries all day long.
I think it's also got to give credit to the Thai bowlers, because they've kept it tight, and they've kind of induced that shot out of their tight bowling and fielding, haven't let them get away. And in T20I cricket, as soon as you get bogged down, you try to find a release shot.
Yeah, the new batter is Charlie Hinds, or to mention his full name, Charlie Hara Hinds. I don't know if you've watched Charlie play before.
No, first time.
Okay, but let me tell you a little bit something about Charlie. I first watched Charlie play the under-19s Asia Cup in December 2023, and first he was 15 years back then, I think, or 14 and something. I don't remember exactly. And the maturity that he showed as a 14-year-old, even though it was age group cricket at 19, is far above a lot of youngsters that I have seen. And over the last 2 years, time and time again, I think he has come to Japan's rescue, either with the ball or bat, and sometimes mostly with both bat and ball. I would say that he's a genuine superstar in the making for Japan for future years. That is, if Australia don't poach him before that.
It's a fantastic shot. He should have got more for that. I mean, flew off the blade.
Good timing on that.
Absolutely. So are you trying to say, Sagar, that Charlie is the Vaibhav Suryavanshi of Japan cricket?
And I don't think I'm going to make any comparisons, because Vaibhav is purely a batsman. There will definitely be a difference in talent and opportunities and the amount of coaching and everything that goes over there. But what I'm saying is, if Charlie can play this well at this age, can you imagine what he'll be like in the next 5 years?
Yeah, jokes apart, I mean, that one shot told me a lot about his talent. I mean, he timed that perfectly. It's a shame he didn't get more for it, but
And it's also his awareness of where the fields are, because I've umpired in a few games for the JPL, and he manages to hit the gaps quite consistently. So, which is very, it's a rare skill for somebody as young as that. Let's put it that way. And then later on, when he comes on to bowl, I'll get your opinion on his bowling later too, because he's got a very classic left armer's action. He gets that loop, he gets that drift, and he's always attacking the stumps. Anyway, we've got a change in bowler over here. Spin into the attack.
yeah, but
Complete 1 run and easily complete 2. Yet another direct hit from the field. Did you notice?
yeah, it was a weak throw though. Needed a stronger throw. But yeah, with two left-handers on strike, it was only a matter of time before spin was introduced. And spot on with the matchups. They've got the off spinner in,
Yeah.
trying to turn the ball away from the left-hander. There's a slip in place there as well, so clearly looking for that outside edge.
Yeah. And it's a well-placed offside field as well. Kendall goes for the sweep. White ball called by umpire Burrs. In a way, his action reminds me of Kedar Jadhav at one stage. When Kedar Jadhav used to use that little slingy off spinner's action. Good ball.
That's right, and with the pitch keeping a tad bit low, he's always going to be attacking the stumps and be really effective as long as he can find a spot and keep plugging away.
Yeah, I think so. That any bowler who sticks to the basics and just keeps it at the stumps is likely to reap better rewards on this surface. I mean, I won't say the pitch is difficult for batting, but if you can get your eye in and pace yourself properly, you will be among the runs. But don't take it for granted.
Oh, making
that's a
room
lovely
for
shot. Look at
himself
that.
and lovely crisp shot there. The ball's running away to the boundary.
Oh,
And a-
great fielding effort! Great fielding effort there by whoever that Thailand fielder was. Beautifully done. Saves a run for his team.
I hope they've got this on camera because it would make a fantastic reel on Instagram just to show this fielding effort, because he's not only chased that ball from cover right to the boundary but also put in a stupendous dive at the end to pull it back in. Saved a couple of runs for his side, or just a single for his side, but I mean, every run counts.
Yeah, it's a pity we didn't get a replay of that either. It would have been fantastic to watch that again. Oh, and then the bowler spoils it by bowling another one. The scorecard definitely taking for Japan over here. It's a nice little drive from Kendall, square of the wicket, gets another single. In comes Sarawat again, keeping on the stumps. Yeah, keeps it straight. Charlie plays it straight, takes 1 run.
I tell you what, it's a small sample size, but I already like the look of Charlie. He's got a bit of energy, and he's brought that energy onto the crease. He's quick on his feet. He's trying to make things happen. Looks like a very promising start for him today.
Just a little bit of background information on Yandre Kurtziar, left armer from the earlier spell. He used to play in South African domestic competition and reportedly used to be an absolute belter back in the day. So he's got some serious cricket experience behind him too. And sometimes I feel so happy for players like him that, okay, they might not have made it for the South African national squad, or somebody might not have made it for the India national squad, but they move to a different country for work or whatever reason it is, and they still keep in touch with the sport, and now they're doing something like this. that they get to fulfill some of their dreams, if not all.
Absolutely, and age is just a number. Andre is 41 years old, but just watching a IPL game last night, and the great Mahendra Singh Dhoni, at the prime age of 43, was still playing
Certainly.
professional cricket in the IPL. So age is just a number.
Yeah. Wasn't Rodney Hogg still playing? I think it was Brad Hogg. Brad Hogg was playing up until his mid-40s too.
I think Jimmy Anderson in England also playing for his county.
Yes.
He was asked by England to be their bowling mentor, and he's turned that offer down to go and still play county cricket. So clearly got some wickets left in him.
Ooh, enemies. Mukesh Thakur coming from the other end.
Kendall trying to up the ante here because he realizes they need to get a move on.
Yeah, I don't think they would want to be ambushed by the Thai players. But it looks like there's a ploy to keep a mix of seam and spin going on simultaneously. Oh, that's a beautiful ball by Mukesh. Straight onto the stumps. Kendall plays it very well.
They're bowling to their field, which is good. So every time a shot is played, it's either going to the fielder. If the batter wants to get a boundary, they need to do something to kind of put the bowler off. So yeah, as long as you're bowling to your field, it's a very difficult wicket to score on.
And I think that's what Lachlan tried to do earlier. Oh, beautiful shot there. Plays it deliberately above that infield behind point and gets a boundary. First boundary of the innings this month. Lovely shot. Let's watch this replay again. Big swing of the bat there. Knew where the fielders was. Deliberately hit it up in the air and got a boundary. Just reward for his effort, I would say. Reply from Mukesh being equally good. Not giving the batsman any room to hit or any freebies. Oftentimes when you get hit for a boundary like that, you generally try to overcompensate and then you end up making a mistake.
So even in that boundary, you saw that the batter had to take the risk.
Yes.
Because they weren't getting any loose deliveries from the Thai bowler, so they had to make something happen.
It wasn't a bad ball by any stretch of imagination. I think Mukesh deliberately chose to bowl Yorker length wide of the stumps, but unfortunately for him, I think Charlie was up to that challenge and managed to manufacture something out of it. Well, brings us to the end of the over. Japan now 28 for 1 after 5. We have one more over left in this power play. Is Kendall going to maximize this? It looks like Charlie is going to be the one on strike again. I wonder what sort of conversation they've had on the pitch.
I think something's going to give this over. They will try and go big. It's the last over of the power play. There we go. On cue.
The ball doesn't travel too far. It sort of thuds into the ground and just skips twice before coming to a stop. They get 2 runs in the process.
Yeah, Charlie got more height on it than he did distance. But the intent is there. You can see that they're itching to get going.
Yeah, I think Sorawat might fancy his chance of getting a wicket as well. There we go. Shouts for captured. Shouts for captured.
Oh, he's dropped it.
And a drop.
Oh,
that was so nicely in his hands. He did the hard effort, got to the ball, judged the position quite carefully, and then it just went through his hands. How costly is this going to be?
Well, time will tell, but at this level, you've got to catch those ones. As you rightly pointed out, he did all the hard work, ran about 20 meters or so to get to the ball, and then just fumbled it at the last minute. He'll be very disappointed with it.
I'm assuming that his captain will be disappointed too. Or maybe the coach. Do coaches get angry at players? You probably know this better than me.
I've seen a fair amount of coaches in my time, and I've seen them all. Some of them are very, very expressive. Some of them learn to channelize their anger a bit better and save it for after the game.
And I think because a few families and young kids will be listening to us, we might want to keep them kosher and not divulge all the details of those words.
And then in international cricket, we see someone like Justin Langer who's so passionate and he kicks rubbish bins on the floor of the dressing room when somebody fumbles a ball.
Well, Alex Ferguson apparently threw a shoe at David Beckham once. There's
And it's
another
gone!
spot and he's gone. Sarawat has his man. Second time lucky. Charlie trying to accelerate the scoring over there. Tries to go with it for an aerial shot once again on the offside. Hits it cleanly, but wasn't able to clear the fielder this time. You know, it just didn't get the elevation that he wanted, and a good catch taken over there at cover.
The last ball of the power play.
Yeah, that's the worst part of it.
So trying to really take advantage of the fielding restrictions there, trying to up the ante, trying to get a boundary, and then in the process, again, good bowling, wicket to wicket bowling by the off spinner. And you know, the batter had to try and make something happen, so he kind of stepped away, tried to make room for himself, go over cover, but just didn't get enough elevation. And good smart catch there by the cover fielder.
Japan now 2 down for 34 after the power play. That's not a bad run rate, just under 6. I think they would have been happier if it was 34 for 1 and still maybe a couple of runs short. But they've got a few other batsmen capable of hitting big shots yet to come in. Now that white bandana tells me it's probably Sabaurish.
This Sabaurish Ravichandran.
No relation to Ravichandran Ashwin. Although I must say both are equally passionate about the game and they play just as hard. Now the new bowler is
Let's bowl him!
Oh wow, look at that. Look at that.
What a classical left-arm spinner's dismissal this is.
Isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
We're watching the replay now come onto the screen.
And what a big wicket for the young man too, especially to get Kendall out. Look at that beautiful dismissal, beautiful slighted delivery, and sort of skids in between the gap between bat and pad. I don't know if Kendall may have got a little bit of an edge onto that.
Yeah, even if he did, yeah, the left arm spinner finding the gap, and yeah, well deserved. You know, his first delivery, but maybe playing the game yesterday has taught him what is the exact length, line, and speed to bowl on this track, because that one turned.
It did. I mean, I was just about to say that yesterday, especially in his second spell, he bowled really well because he bowled more fuller, whereas in his first over, he bowled a bit shorter. And then the other left-arm spinner also bowled a lot shorter than what was needed on this pitch. And it looks like maybe the coach has had a chat with them about it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they say a win is a win, but a loss teaches you a lot of things. And I'm sure they've taken the learnings from the previous game and seen areas where they needed to tighten up and improve. And we can already see a much better performance. I mean, the start has been a lot better than how they started against the Cook Islands yesterday.
34 for 3 is not a position Japan would have thought of they would be in before the game started. And yet here we are. In comes Sano 3 again. Tidy ball to follow that one up. Alex Shirai Patmore is the new batter. He's the keeper for the national team as well. Usually a pretty reliable bat. He doesn't go for a lot of heroics, but likes to play a very safe, sort of steady game. And I think he's probably exactly the sort of person Japan want on the crease at this juncture in the game. Saba Orish is another very experienced player. He's won multiple MVP awards for the domestic season for a lot of years now. So he's somebody who's got a sensible head on his shoulders too.
They're going to need all his experience because they're in a bit of a tricky situation here.
In a bit of a pickle. Oh, what a beautiful ball that was.
Yep.
Beautiful ball.
Came in at the arm and then turned at the last minute to beat the outside edge.
Once again, I would like for us to have a replay of that ball just for any youngsters, any aspiring left arm spinners to see what a good left arm spinner's delivery looks like. There we go again, gets a little bit of turn once again. Saba up to task this time and just pats it away.
Yeah, the batters are going to have to reassess because I don't think this is a 160 kind of wicket anymore.
No, not really. I mean, you still could get it, but you'd have to be helped by very poor bowling and very poor fielding.
Yeah, just having played against Thailand, spin clearly is their strength. And they've got a lot of spinners. They've got a couple of leg spinners still to come. There's another left arm spinner still to bowl. So yeah, a lot of spin, and I think Japan, at the end of the day, you're stuck in a situation where you're 35 after 7 overs. You know that you need to get going, but because you've lost 3 wickets, you want to make sure that you don't lose any more wickets as well, and that's the conundrum that they'll find themselves in.
Yeah, and I think time and time again, the batting has relied heavily on Kendall Kadawaki Fleming and how he performs. I think this is a very interesting situation that the Japan team find themselves in, because now they have to start thinking about how do they build this innings from here on now, rather than focus on the wickets that they have lost. I think they might need to reassess the situation and say, okay, we've got 7 in hand, we've got another 13 overs left, what would be a reasonable target to achieve? Because when you're chasing, it's easier and you go over by over and you count things down, like you need 7 per over, 8 per over, and you try to get them. But when you're setting a target, it's not always that easy to decide what's a par score on a particular day at a particular pitch. Ooh, that's wide to start off.
A change in the bowlings. Sadekar coming in. Opened the bowling for Thailand yesterday.
And I think we are probably two of the very handful of commentators who can pronounce his name right. With the R rather than the L. Oh, that's a healthy edge.
Managed to find the edge, but unfortunately no slips in place.
You don't often find slips in place in T20 game at this stage of the match. I mean, yesterday during your game I was talking about how potentially a slip could be very important at the end, and on cue that ball went through the slip region.
Yeah, we were saying the same thing, that the only way Thailand could win that game was by dismissing the Cook Islands.
Yeah, because they didn't have that many runs to defend. Another 10 runs to their total, and I think that would have been a different game. I personally thought 135 would have been a par score. Right, Sarikar comes again, goes a fairly straighter delivery, just short of length. Saba happy to just pat it back down onto the ground. He's not looking for any big hits just yet. I think until he gets a little bit settled and he feels more comfortable with the pace. Having said that, He tries to hoik this one and just completely misses the floor. Ooh, lovely little ball. I must say I have been quite impressed with the consistency of these bowlers and the way they have just kept it simple and stuck to their plans, barring the occasional wide over here and there.
A much improved performance by them. They must be hurting from yesterday, you know.
I mean, to paraphrase a very popular Hindi dialogue, "Haath aaya par muh na laga."
And what that means, literally in English, is somebody taking a morsel of food straight out of your mouth.
No, I think before it gets to your mouth, right? Oh, that was an excellent ball. It just came in, didn't it? And it bounced a little. Oh, did this go? I have to wait for the umpire's signal. Could be giving us 4 byes. What does the umpire signal? Let's see. Okay, he gives it as run, so it must have taken a slight inside edge.
Oh,
And he
signal.
gives it a boundary.
I think the leg umpire checked with the fielder, and I think he might have said that
Yeah, I think we see this on the replay that as he's pushed that ball back in, his body was touching the rope. Good decision there, and good teamwork between the umpires too. So that's the end of the 8th over. 41 for 3 the score. For viewers joining us later during this feed, a huge thank you for joining us, watching this game, and we are quite happy and privileged to bring this from Sano International Cricket Ground. Oh, another great piece of fielding. Has the batsman made it? Yeah, umpire says yes, he's in. That was a very quick, risky run over there. It was Saba's call, and he's made it comfortably. But very good pickup and throw over there.
I think the batter dropping the bat in the crease gave an impression that he hadn't made it. But the umpire clearly confident that he had made his ground.
And I think according to the updated laws that took place a few years ago, like once you ground it in, if after that you lose contact with the ground behind the stumps, you're still considered in.
At some stage, as long as you made some contact inside the crease, that's all that counts.
Before the update, the law was slightly different, that you had to be in contact at the point the stumps were breaking. Oh, that's a great shot there by Saba. Beautiful, beautiful shot. Gives himself a little bit of room and hits it over extra cover.
Once again, the batter having to make the adjustment and find ways of scoring. Because once again, this delivery was on the wicket. It was only because the batter gave himself some room, hitting it over extra cover where the gap was, that he managed to find the boundary.
And this time he pokes at it. So from a Rohit Sharma-like shot, he hits a Shastri-like defense. In comparisons apart, I think that was still a very good ball over there. Because he didn't get flustered by the previous boundary, still stick to his task. Because he knows that if these guys have to make runs, they have to take the risk. And it's nice to see a slip fielder in place as well for the left-hander.
There's enough in the wicket there. The bowler knows that if he puts it in the right areas, he will get purchase. Once again trying to repeat the shot that he played earlier in the over, this time a bit more turn, so missing it completely. That brings us to the end of the 9th over, 46 for 3. I think the two batters in the middle are going to have to decide what's a good score on this wicket and kind of get a sense of how much their bowlers can defend on this wicket.
I think the Japanese bowlers are good enough to probably defend anything between, say, maybe 100, 120. Because, this is their home ground after all. They're more familiar with the conditions. They play here quite regularly. A lot of these players have been in the JPL, which finished on Monday. So they're fresh off some match practice too.
Sarikar to continue from the commentary box end. Bit of adjustments to the field. 5 fielders out. We've got a third man. We've got a sweeper cover. We've got long off, long on, and a deep square leg.
Poor miss. That's a poor effort in the field, that one. It was just straight into that fielder's hands who, I don't know, maybe a bit jaded, tired. It's too early to get tired. But that was an avoidable run. Japan aren't going to say no to that. They'll happily take whatever singles, doubles, extras they get.
You're a harsh man, Sagir.
I know.
You got to cut a bit of slack.
I try my best, but when it comes to some of the basics of the game, you just got to be able to do it ad nauseum, day after day, time after time. If you had been in the field for about 30, 40 overs, I can understand the slight lapse, but the game's not even 10 overs old. And it wasn't as if the fielder had to put in diving effort. It just came to him. Yet another good ball by Sarikar.
This seems to be a better role for Sarikar because he's bowling a good line and length here with the oldish ball.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Sava tries to go for a ramp and he gets 4 runs for that.
So once again we see when the boundaries come, it's come because the batters had to do something out of the ordinary. He's moved outside his off stump, played the lap sweep as we call it, and managed to get enough bat on it to take it to that very fine leg boundary.
I don't think the Thailand team will mind this one bit because, as long as the batters are the ones taking the risk, yeah, so be it. The bowler's sticking to his job. He's keeping it tidy. It's not giving away many free hits. And I think Sarikar has bowled a little bit better than what he did yesterday too. Also, if you notice, it's that same seam that has continued, spin on one end, seam on the other end. So this is the 3rd seamer that we have seen, and they've got 3 spinners. So between 6 bowlers, they can easily keep that seam spin combination, and if it works for them, then they're likely to continue that. Let's see what Alex's response is. Yeah, that's pretty much Alex's style of batting. He is a safe, reliable batsman, and not to say that he doesn't play any risky shots. He can. He just doesn't do it as often.
We come to the halfway mark of this innings. 10 overs gone. 53 for 3 at Japan, and Thailand will be happy.
Thailand will be very happy with this, especially after the pasting they got yesterday at the hands of Thomas Parima.
Yeah, Thomas Parima is a special player. As I mentioned a bit earlier, one of the only 2 centurions for the Cook Islands in international cricket, and keeps it simple. He's got a simple philosophy in life. You see the ball, you hit the ball and hit it as hard as you can. I remember an innings that he played in Vanuatu for us, and it was a game where if Cook Islands had won by a certain net run rate, we still were in with a chance of winning the East Asia Pacific qualifier. And Thomas was getting a bit of lip by the Vanuatu bowlers, and he came down the track and he charged the fast bowler and hit it straight back over his head. And I kid you not, that would have been 6 on any ground, and the ball just kept going. And to give you some relation of the distance, if you're watching this game, you can see the nets.
Yeah.
It cleared the nets and probably landed somewhere where that bridge is across the road.
Wow. So that's about 110 meters hit?
Yeah, it was well over 100 meters. The ball was lost. And
Did he get a 6?
It deserved more.
So in the words of Kevin Peterson, that he should get 12.
Yeah. But nah, he's a special player, and yeah, as I said, simple philosophy in life, Attack.
See ball, hit ball. No wonder you compared him to Sehwag's approach earlier.
Absolutely.
Alright, let's see who shall continue proceedings.
Still the left arm spinner?
Yeah, still a left arm spinner. Might be a different one, might not be Sano.
Still
looks
is.
like it is Salamantree.
Yeah, still is. I wonder what the discussion between the players was at the drinks break. Japan obviously will be talking about stepping on the accelerator. Thailand, on the other hand, will just say, look guys, we've won this first half of the game. We just need to keep doing what we've done.
There you go. Sabah goes for a big hit. Oh, and that's 6. Should be 6.
Beautiful shot, that one. Just waiting for the umpire signal to see whether it's 6 or 4.
That's it. It's a 6.
It was a 6. And once again, Sabah making room.
Yeah. And it's not just the power, but this time he got the timing right on that. But made the room and hit it cleanly.
It's a big boundary there. It's not easy to clear that.
Oh, he tried to do that again. Just came down a couple of steps, but realized that the ball wasn't there for the hit. And quite sensibly just played safe.
Clearly there's a bit of upping of the ante as far as Japan is concerned. Down the track again, and
he gets an
gets
outside edge. Running. Fielder comes in and gets to the ball. Oh, Alex wanted a third. Probably wouldn't have got it.
Yeah, clear acceleration here by Japan. They're going to go for it now.
So at least it's breathed some life into this innings now, these two shots.
That's
And
beautifully played.
cheeky little paddle.
Don't think he got the timing fully right, but nevertheless, single the result.
There was no pace on that ball from the bowler either, which made things a bit difficult for him. And that brings this over to a close. We are now at 63 for 3. Sabah will retain strike.
Sakir, any information on this block or square? Like, because I know this, we've already had the Under-19 World Cup played at this ground. We've had the Japan Premier League played here.
Yeah.
So, do you know when was the last time it was relayed, and is there a sense that the pitches are getting a bit tired?
Well, it's a good question. I think the Under-19 World Cup and the JPL were the first tournaments for this year that have been played on the turf pitches over here. These guys are just coming off from a winter. So during the winter, there's not much work that goes on over here because the ground is like really hard and gets frosty. So there's not much you can do. And that is why if you see, even when it rains, while there might be a wet outfield, the pitch is just bone dry. And it sort of crumbles a little bit like some of the pitches on the Indian subcontinent. So, which is where you get your slower bowlers to come into the mix, and that is when you get that assistance for the spinners, and that's why you don't see as much bounce on it. So during some of the JPL games, I think the groundsman had to deliberately water the pitch a little bit just so that it could hold itself better, and then yeah, we did see the pitch playing a little bit better after that. And the current groundsman, he's a new groundsman over here as well, but he's done a fantastic job now. You guys would have noticed yesterday as well how well that ground played, and then when you consider the amount of rain that fell before, I don't think many other people would have sort of even thought that we would have gotten a full game yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely great work by the groundsman. I believe he's Sri Lankan. So yeah, clearly doing a great job with the surface and the outfield. Once again trying to steer the ball down. Don't see a lot of players playing that late cut now.
No, but Alex is very adept at it. That's his go-to shot in times like this.
I love the late cut. It's just using the pace of the bowler, dabbing it down.
Yes.
Not a lot of risk involved.
It gives you good returns as well for minimal effort. You just have to make sure that it goes into the gap, because otherwise there's no point. A little bit on the shorter side, and Sabha tries to take advantage of that.
And he's been dropped.
He's been shelled.
That should have been picked up. It went straight in and straight out.
Thailand won't be happy about that.
That's another chance that's gone a begging.
Because if they had got Sabha's wicket at this stage, Japan were in dire straits. And I'm not talking about the music band.
At this level, I keep repeating, at this level you've got to take those chances.
As I said earlier, it's all about those basics, isn't it? And again, the fielder put in the effort, he got there, he got his hands on the ball, he just couldn't hang on to it. And this time Sabha gets an easy single, comes up to the other end, last ball of the over. Japan now 68 for 3.
Thailand doing a good job of getting through their overs pretty quickly.
Absolutely.
There's a hustle and bustle in between the overs as well. The fielders are all scurrying to their places. So making sure that they don't give the batters enough time to kind of find their rhythm.
And at this level of the game, these little things matter. Maybe at club level, grade level, it doesn't affect the flow of the match as much. But in international games, especially low-scoring ones, these things make a big difference.
67 for 3 after 12. I think Japan will be wanting somewhere around that 130, 135 mark at least.
Yep. Oh, good shot again, but straight to the fielder. Can he hang on? And he does.
So not proving to be costly. That drop chance earlier. Sabha once again trying to up the ante, trying to step on the accelerator, trying to repeat the shot that he's played in the previous over.
I think this time he didn't get the power behind it as much. And if you notice, the fielder wasn't close to the boundary. He was about 10-15 steps in.
And not getting the elevation as well. It went flat. And good catch there.
I do wonder whether he's played that shot against the wind a little bit. Big blow for Japan though.
Just when I was saying that they'll be looking at a score of 130, 135, they've lost a wicket now. Once again.
See, watch that car. The driver in the car is slowing down as he's driving past the ground, taking in the action on the field.
And we've got, for viewers who can't see that, we've got a road on the side of the ground, and every so often a car slows down just to see if they can see some of the action.
Yeah. Now I wish some of those people would just do a little U-turn and park over here and come and watch the game. We've got a couple of fans downstairs who I would say are neither from Thailand or from Japan, but they're here for the cricket. And there is a passionate fan following here. There's no doubt about that. Benjamin Ito is the new batsman.
He doesn't have a lot of time to get going. He's going to have to find his bearings very, very quickly.
Yeah, but he's a young player, and sometimes, you know, the audacity and exuberance of youth can suddenly change the complexion of a game. I suppose it all depends upon what sort of freedom and license you have from your coach to blast off, isn't it?
This is the kind of wicket where, you know, you need brute force to kind of force the issue, because the ball's not coming onto the bat that quickly, which means you've got to generate all the power, and you need someone with real brute force to kind of force the issue on this wicket.
Yeah. Because where tact doesn't work, force does. So what are your predictions for the final score? Do you think they'll get to 120, 130?
That's what they'd like to get, but yeah, couple of wickets here and it could all become very, very tricky. Interesting to note.
Another aerial shot, fielder getting into position, and he hangs on to it. Benjamin Ito departs this time in what was almost an exact replica of that Sabari shot.
Yeah, this time I don't think he timed it anywhere close to what Sabah timed it. This one went straight up and didn't get any distance on it. But once again, you know, just when we are saying what could be a good score, every time they're trying to look at building a partnership, they're losing wickets, and that's going to be a spanner in the works as far as that getting to that total is concerned. Interesting fact that I was just going to state is that we've so far seen only 4 boundaries and a 6 in the 12 overs that we've had so far.
And I don't think that's down to poor batting from Japan, but I think it's just much improved bowling from Thailand compared to yesterday.
And also goes to show how difficult it is to hit boundaries on this wicket as well.
The Thai spinners definitely have improved their game. Yesterday they bowled more short deliveries, and I think those balls just sit up and ask to be hit. And with some of the Cook Island players being quite muscly, burly individuals, they had no problems hitting them around. Today they just haven't given the batsmen that length to hit. They've kept it full. They have made sure their fielders have been in position. Look at that, another ball, pretty much, you know, on that good length. There's just no room for the batsman to free his arms.
And Sano with that delivery, finishing his spell, 4 overs, 3 for 18. That's a dream spell in a T20 game. His captain, his coach, would take that every single day and twice on a Sunday.
Why twice on a Sunday?
Just in case you're playing a double header.
Yeah, mostly do. I think this Sunday we do have a double. No, this Sunday is one game. Tomorrow we have a double header. Well, that dismissal brings Kazumasa Hiratsuka on strike, and he's somebody who's known for big shots, but I'd keep my mouth shut just in case I jinx him. It's been a trend that every time I've spoken something good about somebody, just the opposite has happened.
71 for 5 after 13.
off the mark. Single to begin his innings over here. With 7 overs left, realistically they could still get about another 40, 45 runs. Alex brings out the reverse sweep, can't connect it though. I think the batsman feeling the pressure over here. We need to build up on these runs, and it looks like they have to try and resort to risky shots to getting them in.
Once again, he's tried to steer that down, but not getting the timing on it at all.
No.
It's called wide by the umpire, so clearly missing everything. The bat, the pad, the keeper.
Despite this wide, Sarawat Desanyang is not bad. He's not bowled badly. Oh, that's clean ball then. The pace of that ball, I think, has surprised Kazumasa.
And also the fact that from that length, it is keeping low. So just firing them in, bowling darts, as we say.
Look at that. That thing just went through so quick.
Yeah, he was on the back foot there, and on this wicket, you've got to be really quick on your feet if you're going on the back foot. You know, you're much better off playing on the front foot, because at least you know that if it keeps low, you've got a second line of defense.
Japan in real trouble over here now. 6 wickets down, 75 on the board, and not that many players left who can hit the big shots. I mean, Alex is a safe bat. He can marshal this tail now from here onwards, but he's not somebody I would say is well known for playing unconventional big shots and risky ones. Ibi Takahashi, new batter on strike now. And then here on onwards, it's probably just the bowlers.
It's going to be a challenge. I'm sure they would have wanted a lot more on this wicket.
Oh,
That's a
lovely shot.
beautiful looking shot.
Beautiful
there.
looking shot.
So once again, you know, well set field, bowlers doing the job, bowling to their field, and that's what happens. Even though the batters play quality shots, they're not getting a lot of purchase for them.
I mean, for viewers who don't know, Ibi Takahashi also plays great cricket in Gold Coast in Australia. Nudge off the hips to get a single. You know, if they can continue to get at least singles and score, say maybe 6 and over, they'll still be able to get another 40 runs from here on. And then you hit the odd ball for twos, or you might get the odd ball that goes for a wide. That's an exact repeat of the first ball that he played. Cuts it to square. Gets a single.
Thailand will be happy conceding singles at this stage. Now they've got the opposition 6 down. Japan need to step on the accelerator, and with 6 overs left, they would be more than happy just conceding singles.
We'll have a change in bowling that we expected. Sarawat Maliwan comes back into the attack now. Bowled a very tidy first over, gave only 5 runs, no boundaries. Ibi Takahashi will be the batter on strike. Another good stroke on the offside. Should be pushing for two, but no, the fielder quite quick over there. And yet again, it's the placing of that fielder. If he was any deeper, they would have easily got 2 runs over there. But I think because he was midway between the boundary and the 30-yard circle, he was able to keep it down for just 1 run. And that's a long boundary as well on that side. Aerial shot there by Alex. Gets it over mid-on's head. And they settle for another single.
I must say it is quite refreshing in the associate nation world to see a ground with decent sized boundaries. I've seen a fair few grounds in the Pacific especially which don't have the kind of luxury of big boundaries like this one.
Yeah, that's true. Now this one at Sano International Cricket Ground, it is a good sized ground, like a proper international sized ground. And if you notice, there's still another 5 odd meters between the boundary rope and where the stands are. So if they had to extend it by at least another 2-3 meters, they still can. Reverse sweep, misses. Not a wide, says umpire. Alex looking at the umpire forlornly, wondering if he might just get one.
Yeah, I think it was a switch hit, which is why the umpire then, the offside becomes the leg side kind of thing.
What does Alex do now? Goes for a conventional shot, keeps it along the ground. And once again that fielder in the deep, restricting that to a single. Very good ground fielding over here. I mean, they might have dropped their catches, but I can't fault their ground fielding in terms of the way they have covered the ground to get to the ball. And then, 3 direct hits so far that we've seen? Oh, good ball, that one.
They're all built very, very wiry and nimble. So, quick on their feet, get to the ball quickly and release it as soon as they pick it up. So, stopping the batters from converting those 1s into 2s and 2s into 3s.
I wonder if they have a dedicated fielding coach.
I don't think so, because I met their management staff at that opening ceremony and met their head coach, Mr. Pathak, and their manager, Mr. Honey. So, yeah, but I didn't meet anyone who's a fielding coach.
So it must be Mr. Pathak then who's been drilling them. And yet another single. So with 5 overs left, Japan have about 80 runs on the board. Now, let's say maybe another 6-7 runs and over for the last 5. Maybe another 30-35. Big shot, big shot. And that's 6. That goes for a maximum.
See, just missing his line, just over pitching that slide bit and allowing the batter to get underneath the ball, get the elevation and the distance this time. But that's a long boundary and that's a good hit.
That's a good hit by EB. Plenty of power in that shot. Shorawat Desing now, he'll have to change his tactic, maybe just hold the ball back a little bit. He bowls a flatter one in response to that. He bowls a little bit quicker. He'd be happy to take a single for that one. That's a welcome 6 for Japan. They'll take as many of these as they can now. Alex gets into the action this time, straight to the fielder on the bounce. One more added to the total. This game, we haven't seen a series of shots that has got boundaries or sixes, have we? We've had the odd intermittent one, and then it's been followed by steady singles again.
I think it's the nature of the wicket though. It's not easy, and as I said, unless the bowler misses his line and length, it's very difficult for the batter to play shots of good deliveries.
Yeah. Well, as the saying goes, don't judge a pitch until both sides have batted. Ooh, how close was that? How close was that? Oh my god.
Yeah, I think the fact that he tried to play the reverse sweep, he must have known that it's outside the line of the off stump. But thankfully it didn't come in enough with the arm for the batter. We come to the end of the 16th.
91 for 6, the score. So that's basically pushed the score past 5.5 for the first time, I think, in this innings. Courtesy of that big 6 by Edie.
Sorawat finishing his spell, 2 for 32 from his 4 overs. It's gone in 8 runs an over.
A little bit expensive when you consider some of his colleagues. And that's another wicket gone. Ivy tries to go for the big hit once again and finds the man at the cow corner.
He tried to repeat the shot from the previous over, but this time it was in the slot, but just not getting the timing right.
He didn't get the elevation on it either, and it just went. Wouldn't say went straight to the keeper. The fielder had to do some work, but eventually managed to hang on to it. Some reward for Maliwan's consistent bowling, I think, over there.
That's 91 for 7 now.
Yeah. I still think that another 10 runs over here and the Japan bowlers can definitely defend that.
You're the experienced one, Sagir, so we'll take your word for it. But do not forget, cricket's a funny old game.
It is. And again, as I said earlier, every time I've said something, the opposite has happened. So I think I should just keep my mouth shut.
And about 39 years of watching cricket has taught me that every time you think you've seen it all,
yeah, something else happens.
It tends to surprise you and bite you in the backside.
It does. I've got a lot of scar marks to prove that too. Kazuma Kato Stafford, the new batter, he's a fantastic left-arm bowler. Let's see what his batting is like today. Can he hang around with Alex and just stay there till the end? Because I think that has to be his primary assignment now. Just to stay till the end.
Yeah, Alex has looked comfortable in his day on 15 at the moment of 18 deliveries. But needs to step on the accelerator, try and get as many as possible in these last 3.5 overs.
Maybe rather than going for the big shots, just manipulate the field a little bit. Oh, that's a risky run. Well run in the end, home, but that was a risky call. Because it went straight into that fielder's hand. Didn't have to move.
When you've got 93 on the board, you want to try and maximize every scoring opportunity. So the batter's clearly trying to take that single, even though it was risky.
Yeah, but then at what cost? If you have 1 over left and 3 wickets, I can understand. Still 4 overs left. Oh.
Pacey delivery. Trying to play the cut but missing. Just needed to get some bat on it.
Yeah, he would have been happy with a slight under edge that goes behind the keeper. Wasn't to be this time.
in the block hole this time. Yorker bowled by a spinner.
We're seeing that increasingly nowadays, don't we? Even in T20 franchise cricket, we see that a lot more. Mostly finger spinners. Oh, he goes for the reverse this time. Doesn't make any contact. Gathered cleanly by the keeper. End of the over. Good over here by Malivan. Has conceded only 2 runs. Only 2 runs.
Been very economical so far. 1 for 11 from his 3 overs. And another of the Thai bowlers who's kept a choke on this Japan innings, not letting them get away.
Right, we are in the end game now over here. 3 more overs left. You can see the umpire spreading to the other side with the left-hander on strike. Although given the angle of the sun, it might be better for him to be on the other side. It's a matter of personal preference, I suppose.
It's called the square leg umpire, so I think just sticking to tradition.
Technically, he's been on strike, doesn't he? Ooh, is that a wicket? And that is gone. Mukesh Thakur strikes first ball. First ball back into the attack, and he gets the big wicket of Alex.
Yeah, big blow this one. It could have been the difference between another 10-12 runs.
Look at that. Again, wide of off stump in that good length region, not giving him much, what shall we say, he hasn't given him that length for him to be in his hitting zone. So this is the stuff dreams are made of.
He's got the well set batter out, and it's going to make a difference to that end total now, unless the 2 batters on strike now can make some sort of difference or some sort of contribution towards the end.
So we'll just have to see some good old-fashioned tail end batting over here, swinging from the hip.
Some lusty blows.
Yeah, go for glory. The new batter in is Shoma Sugaya Slater. Very safe tap on the offside. I wonder if Thailand could be a little bit more aggressive over here and get just one more fielder in the circle. Like yesterday, they probably could do with a slip again, given the way Mukesh has been bowling. That's a full ball. Oh, fumble in the field. Poor throw to the keeper. One more run added to Japan's total. Our calculations, the projected score is 107. I think at the beginning of the match, Japan would have wanted a few more than that. That's well played. Takes a few steps down the track, hits it in the gap. And another quick throw from the fielder. One run to mid-off. No risk in that one.
Thailand won't mind us at all. Singles at this stage of the innings are like absolute gold.
I think they'll just be happy with the scorecard. 96 for 8. it's all just boiled down to steady bowling at the stumps, isn't it?
I think at the start of the game, if someone had said to them that at the end of 18 overs, you're going to have Japan 97 for 8, they would have shaken their hands on it.
Yeah. And they've only bowled 6 extras so far. 6 extras. Yandre Kurtzi comes back into the attack. So with 2 overs left in this innings, he'll only get 1 of them. Let's see if he can work his magic again and use this slightly oldish ball to see if he can generate some spin like he did yesterday.
Yeah, like you rightly pointed out, 7 extra, 6 wides and a leg by, so only 6 wides. And only 6 boundaries in this entire innings. There's 2 sixes and 4 fours.
Yeah.
So they've really kept a strong hold on the scoring.
I would say it's a very strong showing by the Thai players over here. I don't think anyone had given them the chance or probably shown them that level of confidence that these guys would have been capable of doing this, especially against Japan on their home turf.
Swing and a miss. Andre Kotsia comes back to finish off the innings.
Well, those are ominous words. With 2 wickets left, he could technically finish off the innings. I hope we get to the final ball though.
Hit on the full. Single added to the total. Score moves on to 98 for 8. We are in the 19th over.
2 runs, 2 more runs, 2 more runs for 100. Let's see Japan get there and then maybe get an extra 8-10 runs on top of that. Then I think we'll have a close game on our hands. Lovely ball again. Safely played towards covers. Oh, it gives him the charge and he tries to square drive it on the offside. But the wily old experienced bowler in Kurtzi just manages to get one to sneak past the batsman over them.
It was at this late stage yesterday that Kojia also came into his own, really bowled well at the death.
Yeah, maybe that was the jet lag wearing off. Oh, we see a change in the field. Nirov comes into the circle. Kazuma goes on the left side.
Tapped into the gap, they're going to go for the second. In comes the throw, it's not the best one. And the batter scrambling there, putting in a dive at the end.
I think because he ran the first one really quickly, he was able to get back on time. Even if the throw was accurately just above the stumps, he probably would have made it.
And with that, Japan go past 100.
Oh, he's lost his bat and he's lost his wicket. Double whammy. Gerald Kurtzi, Yandre Kurtzi gets a wicket amidst a flurry of activity there at the pitch. Watch this replay again. Kazuma goes for the hit, loses his bat, and I think that takes some of the momentum from that strike, and a comfortable lob to Yandre Kurtzi, who takes an easy catch off his own bowling. 9 down for Japan. I think there'll be this psychological satisfaction that at least they've crossed the 100-run mark.
And Kodzia is finished for the day. He's bowled 3 overs. Picked up 2 for 7. 2 for 7 of 3 overs in a T20 international.
Yeah, build the man a statue. Well, that will bring Abdul Samad to crease, but because it was change of over, he's at the non-strikers end. This is the last over of the innings. Final 6 deliveries to go. Mukesh Thakur will be bowling this one. I think sensible decision to have the 19th and the 20th bowled by his seniors. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely, and they bowled well so far. So no reason why you wouldn't want to go back to them to finish the innings off.
Oh, good ball that one, straight in the block hole.
The kind of delivery that got the wicket of Thomas Parima yesterday. It's a beautiful delivery that came back in. It was full, it was straight, and it swung in a bit. And just trying to repeat that today as well. Well dug out by the batter.
Short one this time. Shoma goes for the short. And that ball crosses the boundary. 4 runs added to the total. 4 welcome runs added to the total over here.
The fielder at mid-wicket, he was well inside the boundary and he tried to go for the catch. But in that effort of trying to go for that catch, he's missed the ball completely.
I think he slipped. In comes Mukesh. Third delivery of this over now. Big hit again by Shoma. Can't get it past that fielder over there. 1 more run to the total. That brings Abdul Samad on strike. 3 balls left in this over.
Very handy runs for Japan. They'll want every single run that they can get because that means they've just got that additional extra run for their bowlers to defend.
Yeah, by hook or by crook. That's just hit back straight. Batsman in no hurry to get a single. I think I would have loved to see just that little bit of urgency over there if they wanted that double. Because the ball wasn't travelling too fast. Might have induced an error from the fielder, who knows. But then again, they might have been run out too. So I think they're just trying to make sure they don't lose their last wicket in the bat, the full quota of overs.
Once again digging that one out. Because the length is so full, is unable to get underneath the ball to get any elevation onto it. Score moves on to 108 and we're on the verge of the final delivery of the innings. They'd like a big finish here. It's a full toss, it's high in the air. Fielder getting underneath it.
Mirov.
Oh, he drops it again.
He drops it. Japan will breathe a sigh of relief. It might only add 1 more run to the total. But at least they have managed not to be all out. And they have managed to get that extra run and get to 110. This is a very competitive total on this pitch. I believe Japan's capable of defending this total. They have the bowlers who can do that.
Well, we saw yesterday that 124 was almost enough for Thailand. Japan being the home team, knowing this pitch well and the highest ranked team in this competition, might just have enough on the board.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait and watch what happens.
And earlier we saw the 2 left-arm spinners, Senamantri and Maliwan, bowl beautifully. Between them they took 4 wickets and only gave away 30 runs. Japan have a duo of left-arm spinners as well in Abdul Samad and Charlie Hinds. And I think it'll be interesting to see what sort of an impact they have as well. So watch this space. At the end of the 20 innings, Japan are 110 for the loss of 9 wickets. Thank you for being with us so far. We will take a short break over here before the second innings resumes. Stay tuned and join us for the second half of this match. Welcome back, everybody, all of the viewers who have tuned in to watch this match between Japan and Thailand. What a first innings we've had. Thailand have restricted Japan to 110 for 9 of their 20 overs. For people interested in the Japanese commentary, JCA is running a parallel stream with Japanese commentary. So for viewers who would like to tune into that, please do so. For viewers who prefer the English commentary, you can stick over here on the stream to take you through the proceedings of this afternoon. This is Sagir here, your commentator, and with me is our special guest Rahul Patil. Welcome back, Rahul.
Thank you, Sagir.
What did you make of the first innings?
It was one of those arduous T20 international innings, an innings that never got going. Every time the batters tried to accelerate, we saw a couple of boundaries and then a wicket. And I think it's half of it is down to the nature of the wicket being slow and low, and the balance of it is due to the good bowling of the Thai bowlers, the spinners in particular.
I think they bowled beautifully today. Much improved performance compared to yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the top of the innings, Cook Islands yesterday were quite lucky to get the start that Thomas Parima provided them with. You need someone to take the game on. You need someone to provide that impetus to the innings at the top of the order, because it is a new ball wicket. When the ball's new and hard and it's coming onto the bat, that's when run scoring is at its easiest, and you need to take full toll, which Thomas did for the Cook Islands yesterday. But unfortunately, nobody managing to do that for Japan today. All in all, they've still got runs on the board, and Thailand's got to go and get them.
Let's see what the Thai batters do. Japan starting with spin over here. Charlie Hara Hinds, left arm round the wicket. He's at the top of his mark. Game's play. First ball of the innings. Lovely loopy delivery, like a typical left armer's delivery. Straight at the stumps. The batsman goes for a sweep shot, but not able to connect. The opening pair for Thailand is Akshay Yadav, their wicket keeper, and his batting partner is Chalamwong Chatpaisan, who played a very handy knock in Thailand's innings yesterday versus the Cook Island. I think he got 43 runs.
He got about 46.
Ooh, Akshay on the charge over there. He charges down the wicket, slaps the ball back past the bowler, takes a single in the process. What do you think the optimal approach for Thailand over here is going to be, given that they've already played one match on this wicket yesterday? Do you think they'll go for the big shots, or they'll try to accumulate like they did yesterday and play it safe?
I think they've got to go after the bowling in this power play. It is a new ball wicket, as I said, so they've got to make the most of this power play. Play their shots over the infield while the fielders are inside, while the field restrictions are in place, and try and get a start to the innings which makes it easier for themselves later on, because it's not going to be easy going on this wicket.
And it looks like these two have taken your advice to heart, because they have tried to show some intent. Akshay coming down the wicket in the previous ball before that, and then Chatpaisan also clearly showing his intent. He is more or less an attacking batsman in the same mold as your Thomas Parima.
Charlie keeping it really tight here, and although it's a new ball, he seems to have done this previously, because very comfortable. Spinners sometimes don't like bowling with the new ball because they like a slightly oldish ball to get a bit of better grip on it. But Charlie obviously has done this before, and very comfortable, very effective, giving only a couple of singles in that first over.
Not to mention the pace at which he bowled that one. Did you notice how slow it was?
He's got a very classical left arm spinner's action. Good release, lots of flight. He's got that arm ball as well that we saw, and gives it a good loop, good drift.
He does have a very effective arm ball. The number of times I've seen batters getting bowled to his arm ball, is just incredible. So he uses it very effectively, those little variations.
So Japan also using Thailand strategy of pace and spin. Spin and pace as we should say. So second over.
Yeah. So the seamer at this end is Shoma Sugaya Slater. Oh, that's a wide. Called a wide. Not a very ominous start.
It looks like a big unit.
I'm actually, very impressed at how many tall players this Japan squad has. So Shoma is tall, Kazuma is tall, Ryan Drake is tall. Beautiful ball by one.
Look at that bounce.
Yeah, isn't it? Where was this bounce all morning or yesterday?
Exactly. We've got a couple of fast bowlers who would be very excited watching this. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you add Kohei Kubota to that list. He's a tall bowler as well. So yeah, they do have quite a good bunch of tall seamers. In comes Shoma again. Nice ball over there. Comes on easily onto the bat, doesn't it, with pace?
It's a hard new ball, and obviously Shoma running in very, very hard, hitting the pitch hard, trying to extract bounce from his tall frame.
It looks like he's quite effective at it too. Over the years, we've seen a lot of tall, fast bowlers use that height to great advantage, and I think Mone Mokel was one of the better exponents of that.
Yeah, Mone Mokel, obviously the bowling coach for India at the moment. Shoma's run up though reminds me of someone in Indian domestic cricket circuit that I've seen.
Especially with those high knees. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
As he comes running in, he gets those knees quite high. Wild swipe, that one. Given a wide by umpire Burrs.
And a very famous name, last name. A youngster by the name of Arjun Tendulkar.
Never heard of the guy.
He plays for my state, Goa in India.
Yeah, again, never heard of the guy. Probably heard of his father though. Oh, top edge. Is that going to be caught? Fielder running in. Diving catch.
Brilliant
catch. Brilliant catch. Japan draw first blood. What a fantastic catch over there.
And the bounce creating this wicket again, giving him the charge, getting the high bounce with Shoma and the fielder to top it all, sprinting in, getting his hands under the ball, putting in the dive, and coming up trumps with the catch.
Importantly for Thailand, it was Chatpai-san who's lost his wicket now, and that is such a crucial wicket for them because he's one of their attacking players at the top of that order. If he had stayed back for about 10-12 deliveries and made, say, maybe 15 odd runs in quick time, that would have given them the perfect start that they needed.
Yeah, he was top scorer for them yesterday and is now back in the pavilion.
Yeah. But that was a fantastic catch by Benjamin Ito. I think he judged his run and his dive perfectly. Picked up that ball just inches off the ground and hung on to it. And this was the difference between the catches that Thailand dropped earlier. They managed to get to the ball but just couldn't hang on to them. I suppose this would change Thailand's strategy now as to how they approach this run chase. They might default back to their usual accumulative method, sort of collected in singles, doubles, whatever they can get.
I still feel they're better off just having a bit of a go at this new ball still. I know they've just lost a wicket.
That's a good tap on the square.
We just need to make hay while the sun is shining, and the sun only shines with this new ball.
Well, it's a glorious sunny day over here at Sano, undeniable. And it's refreshing to see a lush outfield on a ground that's nestled in amidst all these beautiful green trees, most of them conifers, I think. And during early spring, on the offside where we are now with the camera angle, you've got cherry blossoms in full bloom, and it makes for a very picturesque viewing just behind that fielder that was on the screen earlier.
I agree. Extremely picturesque facility. This is my first time in Japan and first time watching cricket and calling a game of cricket at the Sano International Cricket Ground. And it's a beautiful sight. You've got to be here to believe it.
I hope that with these broadcasts that go out live and people watching these games, it would sort of inspire more people to come and watch cricket over here, or even come and play cricket over here, or maybe even support the Japanese cricket team. If nothing else, please subscribe to the JCA channel. The more members they have, the more subscribers, the more viewers. It helps in getting them some revenue from the ads and the video streams. Akshay comes down the track and he hits it to Miron for one. I'm assuming that is Akshay.
Took it on the full and a single down to long on. Charlie into his second over. His first one was very good.
I believe Charlie will probably bowl 2 overs over here, and then we might see Abdul Samad come in maybe at the 5th, 6th over. Keeps it tidy once again. Batsman strike going straight to the fielder at cover 2.
He's getting that newish ball to drift in quite nicely.
See, again, on the money.
And a bit of turn as well. You don't need to turn it a mile. You just need a hint of turn to put that doubt in the batter's mind. This time Fuller and hits straight to cover.
I think the pace as well that he's bowling at is just perfect for this pitch, and it gives it a little bit more flight.
Taking the risk on, and he's gone!
Oh,
he's
that should be
definitely
gone. That is gone. That's such a risky run, as it was headed straight to the fielder, and what a brilliant direct hit over there. Brilliant direct hit, bringing Japan their second wicket now. Beautiful ball, I would say. Beautiful ball. Give it a bit of a flight, force the batsman to play a little bit, what shall we say, straightish. And I think that's what resulted in that ball going straight to where the fielder was. But good work from the fielder, came charging in, picked it up cleanly, hits it, and gets the stump on the throw.
Once again, the lack of boundaries in the first 3 overs, creating that run out, because the batter now trying to get off strike, the pressure of the dot balls building, forcing the batter to try and pinch a single where there wasn't one. He had hit it straight to that fielder, who was quick on his feet, picked it up in one motion, threw down the stumps, and the batter was well short.
Guess who the fielder was?
Was it the tall fast bowler?
It was Benjaminito, the guy who took that diving catch earlier.
Oh, he's having a phenomenal day, isn't he, in the field?
Yeah, so he might not have contributed with the bat much earlier, but he's definitely made an impact over here. In comes Charlie, batters down the track, not able to get it off the square, and that should be the end of the over. Thailand in big trouble over here with 2 wickets down. They've only got 7 on the board. Right, we see Abdul Samad now into the attack. So we've had only 1 over of Shoma, and Abdul Samad comes in. I think Kendall realizing the importance of spin in this pitch.
I think also the fact that T20 captains nowadays love to keep the batter guessing in that power play. They try and rotate their bowlers, give them 1 over spells. Although Charlie has bowled 2 overs on the trot, but yeah, it seems to be a trend in T20 cricket nowadays.
Different tactics and strategies being employed. Oh, that's a good hit. That's a
That's
good
been
hit. That should go
drilled.
to the boundary.
Drilled through extra cover, classical shot that one, just slightly over pitched by Samad. And for the first boundary of the Thai innings, that should give them some confidence and some momentum.
Samad is a wily operator. He'll probably rein that in. He's not going to let this pass. Ooh, see, this time he induces a false shot, gets what a catch!
What a catch!
What a catch!
Don't tell me it is Benjamin again.
No, this is this is not Benjamin. But what a catch! Phenomenal catch, running backwards, and what a response by Abdul Samad. I told you he will not let it slide by. He just pulled that back in, induced that mishit from Akshay, who just lobs it but doesn't get the distance or even the gap that he wants.
Yeah, all 3 wickets so far are fielders' wickets as much as their bowlers' wickets, because we saw that first catch, which was phenomenal. The bowling by Shomo was great, but at the same time, the second one completely a fielder's wicket because of the run out, and this third one too, brilliant catching. So yeah, Japan has switched on the field. They had to get pick up quick early wickets because they don't have a lot of runs on the board, and they're doing just that.
And it's not always easy to get one of those catches running backwards, is it?
Yeah, and you know, it's keeping your eye on the ball, running backwards, putting in the dive, and timing it all perfectly, and coming up trumps with the ball is just phenomenal effort.
And especially at that patch where you see there's a little rough patch in the outfield just where the AstroTurf wicket is. So it's quite easy to lose your footing or slip, something like that. Right, Samad back into the attack, and let's see where he comes with this one. Keeps it tight, absolute tight. Just to remind our viewers who have been watching the JPL, and for the ones who haven't been watching our JPL, Samad recently took a hat-trick in the Japan Premier League as well.
He's got a very famous name because there's an Abdul Samad that plays in the IPL too.
Maybe he's the same guy.
Yeah, that guy's known for his colossal big hitting rather than his left arm off spin.
Oh, beautiful delivery. What a delivery. Just spun off that duck and jumped it as well.
Yeah, this is fantastic bowling by Samad. After that first ball that was hit for a boundary, he's come back beautifully, picked up a wicket and troubling both batters at the crease.
Yeah, and we've just received information that the fielder who took the catch is Declan Suzuki McComb. He is substituting at the moment for Benjamin Ito. So if that switch hadn't happened, it would have been Benjamin Ito again in the mix.
It looks like Declan's going out now. You see him running towards the boundary, and I think Benjamin's coming back on the field.
Where he did his part.
Yeah, there's no worse feeling in cricket than being either caught or run out by a substitute fielder.
Shall we ask Ricky Ponting about it?
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have a couple of things to say. It was in that Ashes test, wasn't it, against England?
That's right, 2005.
Yeah.
In the name of the substitute fielder, trivia question for you, or for any of the other viewers. Ooh, Saba comes into the attack with his fastish leg spin. Yeah, so trivia question to you, Rahul, and for any of the viewers, who was that substitute fielder?
I know my cricket, but I don't know this one.
Gary Pratt.
One thing I do know that Ponting wasn't happy. He was fuming off the pitch that day.
I don't think he's still happy about it. Ooh, bowled him. Batsman's charged him, but you know, there's no point charging down the wicket if you don't know what your plan is. I mean, if you're just planning on taking a wild hoik, you're not always going to make that connection. Here we're watching this replay again. He comes down, misses the ball completely.
I wonder if it was the wrong one.
Yeah, it did look like it.
So he's played for the turn, but he's missed it because the ball, instead of going away from him, has come back into him and played all over it. He has to make the long walk back to the player's tent.
Yep.
Thailand in big trouble now. This innings is collapsing. And 111 at this stage seems like a long way away.
दिल्ली अभी बहुत दूर है भाई. New batter here, taking strike to Sabah. Cuts it behind point, well intercepted by the fielder over there. Wouldn't be surprised if it was Benjaminito again. Oh, another top edge. Drops off. Falls in no man's land over there. No fielder close by. I mean, do you notice how Sabah comes in bustling at the crease? Like he's got that pace in his run up, but then when he delivers, it's more or less like a normal speed delivery. Except for one or two variations when I think he tries to slip in that wrong one.
He reminds me a bit of Ravi Bishnoi. With that approach to the crease, you know, it's fast, it's got pace, and it's got energy at the crease. But just like Thailand, Japan also using their complete suit of spinners here. We've already seen Charlie bowl, we've already seen Abdul Samad, and we've seen Sabah. So all three spinners effective and on the money.
Absolutely. Samad back into the attack now for his second over. That could easily have been a catch on the leg side too. Like gully region. Played it a little bit on the up, that flick.
You see the indecision now. Because of those runouts, because of those fantastic catches, Thailand know that they're up against an extremely good fielding side, which creates the doubt in the batter's mind. Even when it's an easy single now, they will think twice because of the situation that they are in.
Well, I think credit should also be given to a much better bowling lineup over here. Tries to go for the big slog, misses it completely.
They've got to be careful here because they don't want to lose any more wickets. We've got to keep an eye on that net run rate as well.
Now the question is this. Will Thailand actually take a moment over here to think about what their approach should be? Because they're not that many overs far gone. And that could be... Oh! That was a very valiant effort there at deep square leg. Diving catch. But unfortunately couldn't hang on to it. And that's a welcome boundary for Thailand.
Yeah, he tried to hit it, but didn't get enough bat on it. The fielder came so perilously close. It's just not having enough to get to the ball.
Okay, and we're seeing the umpire having a chat with the batter. I don't know whether he's hit his head against something.
No, I think it's to do with the running on the pitch maybe, because think he's having a bit of a word with the batters about running on the wicket.
Right.
I wonder if it's something physical because I can see them kind of.
Yeah. If only we had a replay. Ooh, another slap shot. This time they get a single for their effort. Listen, he's not going to trying, is he? He's not going to. Oh, that's a quick single. Goes into the gap, and the overthrow brings them another run. That's a little bit sloppy from Japan after the excellent display earlier today. And Thailand taking advantage of that lapse in the field. Their total now pushing up to 15 for the loss of 4 wickets. Those 4 wickets are a big blow. I think they would have taken the 15 runs after 5 overs, but the 4 wickets probably have dented this run chase massively.
I think we might have a bit of information on what's happened there in between and the word that the umpire had, because I think one of the Thailand batters is batting in the wrong shirt. So he's got somebody else's shirt on, which is creating a bit of confusion with the scorers.
Right. Sabah comes back for his second over. Pushes it quickly, safely played back by the batter over there. It's amazing how quickly he gets through his overs.
Seeing the same thing, even Thailand will have that, getting through their overs very, very quickly.
Ooh,
That's bowler!
Sabah pumped up over there. Just look at him punch that. He's out to prove a point. If I can't make runs with my bat, I'll win this game with the ball.
Yeah, once again, it looks like it was the wrong one. The batter picked it and he played the right shot. He was trying to play with the turn, but missed it completely and heard the death rattle.
Thailand have now lost half their side. They're 5 wickets down. And there's still about 90 runs to go. This is a huge, huge mountain for them to climb now. You can see from the incoming players' body language itself that whatever hope they might have had at the beginning, that's just fizzled out a little bit.
I must give you kudos though, Sagir, because you did say at the halfway stage that you believed that Japan had enough on the board. And you were confident that their bowlers would be able to defend 110 on this wicket.
Yeah, I think they would have been able to defend even 100-ish, 90 maybe. But yeah. At the end of the day, this is their home ground. You boys are going to have a fight on your hands tomorrow.
Oh yeah, it'll be a great experience. We've never played them before, and to play them in such a beautiful setting.
Have you never played Japan before? I thought you played them in one of the East Asia Cups way back. And when I say way back, I mean at least about 15 odd years ago.
Yeah, 15 odd years ago.
There was one East Asia Cup where Japan and Cook Islands played. I think Japan won that game very narrowly, something like 3 runs or 2 wickets. Like it was that close. Ooh, that hit him on the back. That's not a smart.
Just getting in the way of the throw from the fielder there.
As long as it didn't hit his helmet or his head, he should be alright. Yeah, but again, those sort of throws, they hurt.
Kutsia got some useful runs for Thailand yesterday.
Oh, that's a lovely little drive on the up. Manages to get a single. I suppose the Thai batters now should just focus on lasting for as long as they can and get some valuable batting practice in.
They've also got to, make sure they play their full quota of 20 overs because and try and get as close to the total as possible because, as I said, in a Tri-Nation series and with the rain being an element that we've had, it could come down to net run rate. So, you always want to make sure that you're giving yourself the best chance by keeping your net run rate healthy.
Yeah, and speaking of net run rate, like if we look at Duckworth-Lewis calculations, the par score at this point is 52 and Thailand are at 21, so that's quite a way off, and that will definitely dent the net run rate calculations over here.
So just to confirm what you said earlier, Sagir, Cook Islands did play Japan, but in the 50 over format back in the early 2000s.
So it was about 20 odd years ago.
Yeah.
But Benjamin Ito in the attack, and yet another spin option over here. Kendall making full use of his spinners now.
And we got that information thanks to the president of the Cook Islands Cricket Association, Mr. Grant Walker, who's observer of any cricket match that gets played anywhere on the planet.
That's a good bit of keeping over there by Alex. The batsman just completely missed that in trying to play a sweep shot, went on the offside. Yeah, so a big thank you to Mr. Walker for his patronage of the sport and for being, what shall we say, magnanimous.
Who is getting some turn?
Comes down the wicket, misses the ball, then gets his slight inside edge onto his pads. Bowler temporarily interested over there in LBW appeal, but realizes that it would have been a futile attempt. Ooh, that's another good delivery over there. You don't often see a lot of tall spinners though.
I think it comes from the fact that when you're tall and strong, you want to bowl as fast as you can. So you find that most of the tall bowlers try to use their height and build in hurling the ball down as fast as they can.
But it does affect the way they're able to flight that delivery and the sort of drift they can get. They don't often get that much. There's a reason why a lot of the successful spinners throughout cricket's history have often been like average height or just below average height.
And you've got an exception in the case of Ravichandran Ashwin, who's quite tall for a spinner. It seems to do a lot with the ball.
But again, Ashwin's forte has also never been like flight and drift. His forte has been his variations and his accuracy. When England now have got a tall offie in Mohammad Bashir?
Yeah, Shoaib Bashir.
Shoaib Bashir, that's right, thank you. And I think the other spinner they used in the India series, Tom Hartley, he's also relatively tall. I wonder if these selections are influenced by the data and the analysis that they do. Salah is bowling his third on the trot. So there's a bit of a flight on this one. Bowls it wide outside of stump.
Now that the batters are out of the power play, we've got the field that has been well spread out. Japan, knowing that they've done all the hard work of picking up those 5 early wickets, as long as they protect the boundaries from here on, they don't need to try and do anything special.
And similar to what Thailand did earlier, let the batsman take the risk. Oh, big shot, and that goes for a 4th. Much needed boundary for the Thailand team. That will bring some relief for them. Akshay being the one who gets the boundary on this occasion. Too early for me to say this, and I don't want to jinx them, but it looks like this is the pair that could probably settle their nerves a little bit for a while. Salah comes in, bowls a slightly fastish but short one. Akshay doesn't get hold of it this time and slaps it back to the bowler.
So Akshay has actually, seen all the carnage.
Tries to go for another big shot, but doesn't get the... Oh!
He's seen 5 batters come and go in front of him, while he's kept one end steady.
He'll be crucial to Thailand's rebuilding effort over here. Both of these players actually, and especially with Jan Kurtz's experience as well, and previous experience playing in South Africa.
Brings us to the end of the 9th over, 31 for 5. Thailand in the hunt of 111, requiring a further 80 runs to win this contest of 11 overs. It's going to be a tall ask because they've lost 5 wickets already, and a lot depends on the shoulders of the current partnership to try and resurrect this inning somehow.
I do wonder if they might tinker with the batting lineup in their next match and give their experienced batters a go at the top of the order first, so that they don't end up in a similar situation where they've lost too many wickets too early.
Benjamin Ito into his 2nd over. Been reverse swept there. Good effort there by the fielder at short 3rd man. Single the result.
The single brings about a change in the field. The short 3rd man goes on to deep square leg, and somebody else now takes his position. We've got...
Oh, that's a big hit.
It goes into mid-wicket, and is that a catch?
Yes,
that is
it's
a catch.
taken.
Charlie there with a fantastic effort, taking a catch in the deep, and Akshay Yadav sadly has to go. He'd been playing very well until now, and seems to have just, I think, lost his, not concentration, but I think he's just, in the pursuit of big runs, made some sort of an error of judgment over there. But let's not take away from the fact that that was a wonderful catch there in the deep. Fielder running in, slips at the end, but still manages to hang on to that ball.
It's just more of what we've seen already in this innings. Brilliant fielding by Japan. They're holding on to everything, and they're making.
And now we see the Thailand coach having a chat with his two players on the ground before play resumes.
I think the umpires might have called for drinks because
but
we are in the 10th over.
We are, and the Japanese players have had a drink, but because Jan Vikertzi has been relatively new at the pitch, he probably doesn't need one just yet. He might need one later, a stiff one perhaps.
One day, if Coach Pathak, they're just reminding them about the importance of net run rate in this tournament, because it is a double-edged sword. Do you go in pursuit of the win, or do you just kind of focus on playing out your 20 overs and trying to get as many as possible?
Yeah, I have always held this belief that you should finish your quota of overs as often as you can, or at least get as deep as you can into seeing through that.
I guess the new batter's approach will tell us what the plan is going to be.
That's a number 8 batsman. Do you really think he's going to hang around over?
His first two shots, he's not tried to at least hit the ball in the air, which kind of tells us that he's trying his best to keep it on the ground.
Let's see what he does now. Oh, that's a little nudge. Little nudge, should get 2. Batsman complete 1. Yeah, striker calls for the second and makes it on time. Good chase by the fielder as well. Looks like that was Sano over there chasing that ball down.
At the end of the 10th over, halfway through Thailand's innings, 34 for 6, requiring a further 77 runs to win this in 10 overs, with 4 wickets in hand. And with every passing over, the task just looking a lot more impossible.
While the batsmen are in a little conference of their own, I'd probably like to say a big thank you to the team sponsors over here, MKI and Mizuno, who are the Japan kit sponsors and the team sponsors, and they have their respective partnership, but also to the other sponsors and local partnerships that they have over here. Because without their help and support, it wouldn't be possible for JCA to host this triangular tournament. Ibi Takahashi now into the attack.
Japan just seem to have a plethora of spinners here, and continuing with the spin heavy option.
And this is not counting 2 or 3 other spinners that they have on the bench at the moment. Guys like Makoto Taniyama, Jake Kusuda-nen. Oh, that's a lovely shot. Not many runs to get for that. That was a good shot nonetheless.
Sakil, you might know, but did we recently read that there was a T20 that was played? I can't remember if it was in franchise cricket or in international cricket. All 20 overs were bowled by spinners?
Yes, I heard about that, and I think it was a T20 match, probably a franchise one.
And most probably in Bangladesh Premier League, probably.
Could be possible.
Yeah, because of the turning tracks there.
Yeah. And if I were to take a guess, I think about 80% of them would have been left-arm finger spinners. Ooh, down the track comes Yantek Kurtzi. You know, gets to the pitch of the ball really nicely over there and just keeps it along the carpet. And speaking of such quirky little games, I think I have a scorecard of one of the matches that was played, possibly somewhere in the West Indies. And I can't remember what the final score was, but one player made 100 runs and every other batsman scored 0. So in a total of 169, the one player who made runs made 160. There were 9 extras. Everybody else made a duck.
He must be some better, that one.
Yeah, she was. Okay, so it was in the West Indies. Probably one of the South African or Zimbabwean leagues. But how unusual is that, hey?
Oh, that turned big. Benjamin Ito now really getting into his work.
What more can the guy do? He's taken a catch. He's effected a run out.
Just going back to that stat that I mentioned earlier, it was the Pal Royals who made history in T20 cricket by bowling 20 overs entirely with spinners, leading to an 11-run victory against Pretoria Capitals.
There we go.
Joe Root played that game, made 78, and they were captained by David Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And they secured a third consecutive playoff spot with that victory.
Right. I think spinners are very underrated in T20 cricket, and not a lot of captains realize how well they can utilize spinners, especially if you have an attacking wrist spinner, whether it's a leggy or a left armer. So far we've only had one over from the seamer Shoma. Every other bowler has been a spinner. And it wouldn't surprise me if we see just the spinners operate till the end of the game.
All 20 bowled, we could be in for seeing 19 bowled by Japan here today.
Yeah.
That's if Thailand lost those 19 overs.
So they're 11 overs through. That's another lovely ball. But very well played as well by the batter.
This partnership has been a lot more circumspect, so I think that message that came out during the drinks break would definitely have been to keep an eye on the scoreboard and make sure that they play out their 20 overs. You don't want to be in a situation where you're leaving some runs out there and that comes to hurt you later on in the tournament.
Absolutely right. Do you think that message might have been about 4 wickets too late?
I think while Yadav was at the crease, they would have still kind of fancied their chances because he is their opening batter. So, he's got some pedigree behind him. But once his wicket fell, I think they kind of have shut shop.
Charlie's back in the attack now. Pull into an field of where he's got 5 fielders on the off, 3 in the ring. He's got a long on, he's got a mid on, he's got a deep mid wicket. I think he's probably trying to get the batter caught if he goes for a slog sweep.
A rare error there by Japan in the field, diving over the ball. Boy goes for a big swing. Just as we said that they were being a lot more circumspect with their shot selection. He's tried to play the slog sweep and missed it completely.
I wonder which part of the ground he was planning on targeting, given that there are three fielders in the deep on the leg side.
There's a huge gap though between mid wicket and long on.
Yeah, it's not easy to always pick that up. Nonetheless, when it gets executed properly, yeah, it's a treat to watch. Or maybe he's just banking on his strength to clear the fielder. I'd have thought Curtsy would have been the player to do that rather than Mukesh. There we go, it's looped up. And that's a tame dismissal.
Easy return catch there for Charlie. He's bowled well. He's deserved that wicket. You know, he's bowled in the power play when it's not easy, and he bowled a very tight spell. They're coming back for his second spell. Gleefully accepting a straightforward chance. The batter trying to close the face of the blade, only managing to get a leading edge. Straight back to the bowler.
You don't get many more easier cotton balls than that. 7 down, Thailand now. 41 runs on the board. They at least want to get 70 runs. What do you think? I think, like, if they were to revise their target from here on and say, okay, we've got 8 overs left, we've only got 3 overs, 3 wickets remaining, what should be their aim in terms of how many runs they want under their belt? I mean, they are far away from the net run rate, so maybe psychologically for themselves, perhaps 70, 75 on the board.
Yeah, I think at least try and get run a ball from here on. You know,
see, even if they may not be able to get a victory, they might get some moral victory out of it.
you sound like an English supporter there, Sagir.
Maybe I'm just poking fun at them. Well, these players definitely need Ben Duckett's help, because he can inspire other people to play the way he does. See a change of bowling. Obviously, someone's going to be back into the attack now. There's the PP.
At 13 overs bowled so far, 42 for 7 is Thailand, requiring another 69 runs in the last 7 overs. And they only got 3 wickets in hand.
Well, let me make that change. It is Ibi Takahashi in the attack, not someone.
Ooh, that one bounced.
It did.
It is so difficult. You know, when that does that from a length. This one
That's a
though
good
on leg
shot.
stump. It's swept away to the man at backward square leg.
That was actually a good sweep shot. He didn't get many runs for it, but it was a well executed sweep shot. Fielder over there doing pretty well to contain it to just a single. You know, the way EB crouches before he starts his run-up, it just reminds me a little bit of Paul Adams. Just that point over there. Oh, stumped. Gone by a mile. Yandre Kurtzi, I think, tested the limits of his patience over there and eventually decided to give the bowler a charge. Steps out, goes for a big hoik, misses the ball completely, passes outside his outer edge over there. Just couldn't get to the pitch of it and the turn doing the rest. And then Alex Shirab Patmore had an easy job on his hand.
He was-
Thailand now.
He was so far down the track there, almost in a different postcode.
Yeah, and the ball went past him like a tracer bullet.
So 8 down now. Up Thailand in dire straits, as we said earlier. I think another South African spinner that also has that little crouch.
Who?
I think the current one, Tabriz
Shamsi?
Shamsi does that too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good effort in the field. It's not visible on our screens, but we can see that Kurtz is not happy with his dismissal. Once he went catch it, just for short of the fielder, directly it would have been the end of the new batter as well.
Yeah, he was also very far away there. The fielder needed to. He had a good view of all three stumps,
Yeah.
but just
But
unable
from a
to.
batter's perspective, what was the need to take that risky run, right? You've got overs in hand. Just play as much as you can. Get some valuable batting practice.
But you do know that this is number 9 and number 10 at the crease.
I know.
And when you have tailenders at the crease, there's always comical runouts around the corner.
Yeah. And they're not exactly the most patient of batters. They just want to get on with the show. So, a lot of the big shots come out. If they connect, they connect. If they don't, well, tough luck.
So again, we're going through the motions in this game, so maybe a good time to talk about tomorrow's games. We've got a double header tomorrow.
Yes.
We've got the Cook Islands taking on Thailand in the first game, and then the Cook Islands taking on Japan in the second game. Thailand now, almost on the verge of their second defeat in this tournament. What do you think their approach should be tomorrow?
I'd say play the natural game because even if numerically their chances of getting to the final are diminished, significantly diminished now, the best way is to stick to their approach, what works best for them, and try to get at least one win in their remaining match. Oh, we got a quick bowler.
And a left arm quick bowler. Always love watching left armers.
Japan has a plethora of them. So Kazuma Kato Stafford is a left arm quick. Kohei Kubota is a left arm quick. There's a couple of others in the wings as well. Kai Wall, he's a young upcoming, he's only about 17 years old, 16, 17 years old. He's pretty good. He can actually swing the ball. Oh, that's a shot. Wouldn't go for a boundary. Fielder will cut it off. Batsman take 2.
Good handy runs these for Thailand. But they need to get as many as possible here. Keep fighting.
Yeah, so going back to that earlier topic of discussion, I think, even if they lose this one today, tomorrow's a new start. It's a new match. And, just play their best game so that even if they don't get to the finals, they can at least, finish the tournament with a win.
Oh, it's bowled him.
It's gone.
Going for an ugly hoik over the leg side. I think there was a change of pace by the bowler. The batter was way through the shot way too early.
Yeah, and it takes his leg peg.
Replay on our screens now.
There we
Yes, definitely a change of pace there. Missing it completely. Curtains for the batter. 9 down now.
Good ball, that one by Kazuma Kato Stafford. He usually opens the bowling for Japan as well. Obviously today his role's a bit different. Big question for Thailand is, can they cross the 50 run mark? because it would be a huge psychological blow if they don't get past that 50-run mark. In he comes, steaming in, eyes on the prize. Will he target the stumps again? It was a little bit shorter, but still straight. Sarawat Maliwan, the young left-arm spinner on strike. And his compatriot, the other left-arm spinner, Sano, I must say, both of them bowled very well earlier today. Oh,
And his bowled him.
goes again. Kazuma zeroes in on that target, that leg stump that he so regularly hit, and he does it twice today within the space of 6 deliveries. He finishes the proceedings over here for Japan, gets the last wicket of Thailand, and what a way to get that wicket. Bang! Right on the money over there. Wonderful victory for Japan over here by a huge, huge margin. Thailand will rue their mistakes, some of the dropped catches earlier when they were fielding, and perhaps also the way they have approached this run chase. I mean, it's not been an easy run chase, and the pitch definitely is not an easy one to bat on. You have to get your eye in before you sort of start scoring freely.
Yeah, they played like champions. You know, they are the top-ranked team in this tournament, and they were playing at home. An absolutely convincing display by the Japanese boys, getting the job done. They only had 110 on the board, but making sure that was more than enough. Defending it with a lot of skill and a lot of flair as the players shake hands.
Sabaurish, the likely contender of player of the match, with his 24 runs, which was the top individual score in Japan's innings, and with 2 wickets against his name as well. It has been wonderful broadcasting this match and bringing you the English commentary from Sano International Cricket Ground. Many thanks to Rahul for joining me today in the comms box. It was a pleasure having you here.
Absolutely, thanks Agir, and yeah, it's always great to be calling live cricket, especially in a beautiful setting like this. If you haven't been to Japan, if you haven't been to Sano, anyone who's a cricket lover should come and watch cricket at this ground. It's a beautiful venue, and thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you. Before we close the proceedings, once again, I'd like to give thanks and express my thanks to all the supporters, cricket supporters, all the subscribers to the JCA channel on YouTube, and to the sponsors of the national team, Mizuno and MKI, and all the other partners that support cricket over here in Sano. Many thanks for JCA for broadcasting this live from the cricket ground over here. We will join you tomorrow for the double header. The first match starts at 9:30 a.m. Japan time. Please hang around for the presentation. Have a lovely afternoon, everyone else. This is me, Sagir, signing off. I will be back with you tomorrow morning for the live broadcast for tomorrow's games. Thank you very much.